Okay, I'm going to get ready to slice them off. I've got a parallel over here and the part over here with a couple blocks underneath. I can take the blocks out now, I guess, before I forget, like I did over on the NC. But they're not in the way anyway. And I'm going to try it with this wheel cutter. I've got another one that would work. It's a little smaller diameter. I'm going to try this one first. And I don't know how sharp it is. And this is 62 thou thick. 62 thou the face of the cutter. So we're going to put that in there and see what we can do. So, load that up. Might have to go in low, drop down the belt to two. Even in low range here, I think that's going to be too fast. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's too fast, so definitely too fast. We'll get it on the other side here. Then drop two spots on the belt. Okay. Come on. Sometimes it can be a pain. Sometimes it works just fine, and sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate. Wish I had a variable speed, but I don't. Invertible speed. We had somebody that at work that used to say that. Instead of variable, it was invertible. Invertible speed. Oh, come on. Didn't want to climb up on that pulley. Yeah, buggered. Alright, I think it went up on that one. Alright. What's going on here? Huh. Finally. After messing with it. Alright, now let's see what we got. That'll be a lot better. Alright. So we gotta move over here and a piece of paper and get the top. Ugh. So I think I'm going to crank the knee up. Some spindle ain't hanging way out. You know, the further you have the spindle hanging out, the less rigid your setup is. So you want to keep that up as far as you can, always. In which case I'm going to try to keep it up all the way. Alright, let's put it in high gear so I can turn it by hand. And now get a piece of paper. Well, come on. A small piece. There we go. right there. Got a it's got a little bit of wobble to it, the way it looks. So that means I gotta go up to 62, and I'm gonna go like 63 or 64 just to. I'm gonna go 65. Alright, and then I'm going to re-zero here. And the overall width of the head was 563. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 63. Okay, that should be it. Shift back to low. Get my coffee cup out of the way. Get the squirt bottle, because we're going to put some coolant on it. And I'm going to lock my y-axis. Don't know how much noise that'll make. We're going to find out, I guess. So maybe I'll take and turn off the LED lights. So it kind of helps with being able to see it for the camera. And bring the light over here. If that'll help or not. Oh yeah, you can see it pretty good in the anyway, the viewfinder. Alright. Here we go. Actually, you should make two of them. One for the big gear and one for the little gear. Which I may do. I've got to see if I got some tool steel though first. Wish it wasn't so expensive to ship that stuff. I'd like to have a few more different sizes of tool steel on hand. Stuff's so expensive to ship. Getting close. cap on the arbor is pretty close. Got about 100 foul left underneath. She's whistling. Pretty soon it'll go for a ride around and drop off. Hopefully. I'm going to stop it right there before it goes for a ride around. It's going to tip up, and I'll just take and clean that up. There's one parted off. Actually, it left a pretty nice finish on the bottom, that cutter. So I'm going to do that one more time. Does look like it walked off though. I'm definitely going to have to clean it up and see how much it walked off. Where my caliper's at. We got 385 over here. 420 over here. So yeah. Definitely walked off. So the head's going to be a little thinner than what it was supposed to be. Yeah, it walked off. You can see it got awful close to about 380. 425. Darn it. Well, I'm going to say I can clean it up. But I was hoping for closer than that, so I think I'm not going to use that cutter again. I'm going to switch to a different cutter. The constantly went right up. Now I'll have to devise a way of, well, if I can get it in a 3-jaw, if I can get it in a 3-jaw and then dial in the back edge so that that's running true and then face this. Another step in the project. Oh well. I'm going to go ahead and cut away and change that wheel cutter to a different wheel cutter because I got several like that. That one there is obviously dull on one side and riding up. And we'll do the same thing again and see how it turns out the next time. Until then, catch you later. Well, I got that first head cleaned up on the lathe. Unfortunately, the valve seats aren't going to have much room in there. I may end up having to press in a valve seat into these and then make this hole, instead of a 1/4 inch, 3/16 or something. I don't know why I didn't just go smaller with this port anyway, because it does not have to be that big as what's called out. So anyway, I'll get it to work one way or another. It doesn't have to be much of a valve seat in there, so it should be okay. And like I say, if not, then I'll go ahead, and what I'll do is I'll ream this out and then press a piece of brass into it, re-drill the hole, and then come over here and then re-drill this hole down on that brass, but I'll drill it to a 3/16 drill or hole through it. So anyway, I'll get it to work. And my next one, I decided, well, what the heck, you know, why didn't I just go ahead and put it in the saw? It just goes to show you, you know, there's more than one way of doing things, and I, for some reason, had a slitting saw stuck in my head, and that's what I was going to go with. But I'm going to go ahead and just, hopefully the saw blade will run through. It should. I got it right up against the what speed am I running here? I'm running on the slow speed. I'm going to change that. Kicked it up to the high. Come on. There we go. Just the weight of that motor is what's on that belt. You can pull that motor up and down. I had it when I was cutting some, set on low when I was cutting some, when I was cutting that hot roll steel. Now what I'm going to do is, I ended up having to turn that one on the lathe and dial it in, so I'm going to do the same thing on this one. That's why I said, well, I'm going to just use the saw. I think that's why I had the slitting saw in mind, because I thought maybe I'd go in there like a smaller woodruff cutter, and then you don't even have to do anything to the backside because it's a nice flat surface. But anyway, long story short, there are many ways to do things. I consider them, none of them wrong, none of them right. Some are faster than the others is all. As long as the end product turns out what you want. A little edge lube on the blade. This saw is not the fastest, but it does the job, usually. It actually could have a little more weight, I think, on the... I've adjusted the spring as far as I can to put as much weight. Not enough. That's why I'm kind of holding on to it and putting a little bit of extra pressure on it. Blizzarding outside. It's winds have come up and blowing pretty good. Got maybe I'd say 3 foot of snow on my driveway. Got a drift that's a little higher than that. That's okay. I don't mind it. My little John Deere tractor will take care of that. Supposed to last all day today and maybe the biggest part of tomorrow, so we should have some pretty good drifts by then. I usually start this off and walk away and go do something else while it's on, because it takes, like I say, it's not the fastest. That blade could be running about twice as fast as what it's running on aluminum. I should just make a new set of belt pulleys for it, so I can get it up to where it belongs. But that surface speed, I think, are just way too slow. Getting close. And it dropped down into the drop-in box. Here we go. So now we'll go over to lathe and I'll show you how I ended up dialing now the other one in, and I'm going to end up dialing this one in the same way, just so I can have a flat perpendicular to the whole surface. So and take this out. Left my indicator set up, so, and we'll just put this in as far as we can, and that we can get away with, and still clean it up, and just kind of lightly clamp it at first. And what I did was put an indicator on there to go into the back side, drop that on. I'm going to come in underneath that jaw, right underneath this jaw right here. And then I'm going to crank over to 0 on the I crank my saddle over to 0 on the indicator. Whoop. Right there. Then I set my travel indicator back here. And then I come out, move over, go to the next jaw. This will get it damn close. Back in, then move back to the 0 on my travel indicator back there. And we are 10 thou. Right now we're 10 thou over at this jaw. So I just take a punch because I don't want to whack right there. And I got just a little piece of brass to tap on the punch. Oop, 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 oop. Going the wrong way. That one is I'm gonna have to set that one to 0. What I need to do is find the one that's in the furthest, and then get the other two to match. Basically, is what I'm doing. So what I'll do is I'll just crank it over to 0 again, and change the dial back here. All right, then move out. Come in. Into that. Go to 0. See, now that one's is 1 thou from where that other one was at. So we'll just take and see if we can't move just this one right here. Like that. Come out. Move out of the way. Go to the next draw. Move in. It's a little dinking around, but it gets it straight. I don't know of any other way of getting it straight back there without. So that one is 8 thousandths. So we'll try to just move it in on this jaw, 8 thou. And naturally the other one is going to move a little bit along with it. And you just got to keep going around. Until you get it. Move to 0. Actually, it didn't move. So that's 0 there. That's about 3 thou high. I did that again. I'm going the wrong way. What is wrong? Sometimes you have those brain farts. Okay, so we'll reset this again to 0. And we're at 0 again on the indicator. And come back in. Alright, so 6 thou. We were closer before I tapped that other one around. Just lightly tapping it. There's 0 there. Anyway, I went around and around and around it, the other one, and got it dialed in, and it was pretty unpleasant at how much I had to take off to clean it up. That wheel, or that slitting saw definitely needs to be sharpened. It's dull on one corner, apparently. And when it's dull on one corner, naturally it's going to go like that. So there's 0. There's 0 there. I don't know if I had collets that big, it'd be no problem. Because a collet would load that up pretty good, I think. Usually if you put it in a collet and slightly turn it as you're putting it in a collet, it'll run pretty true. Depending on your collet. You know, if you've got good collets or bad. 1 thou. We're 1 thou low. On the low side of the indicator. Oh, darn it. This one keeps moving. Because we're about 7 thou now. Move that over to there. I think it took me about 4 or 5 rounds on the other one too. There. But I didn't tap it the wrong way though either. Like I did on this one. So we're about 4 thou. We're within 4 thousandths now. Okay. Or a 9 thou down. Maybe it's just a little too loose. Tighten it up just a little bit. Not having the luck I had last night. I had a lot better luck on that other than I had to take too much off, but as far as dialing it in, it went pretty smooth. I'm going to take it to 4 thou. It's 4 thou. That's 4 thou that way at low. Hopefully you're understanding what I'm doing here, but that's 4 thou. That's 4 thou that way, so those two match. Hey, we got a winner. That's 1 thou low, so we're within 3 thou. I'm going to call that good. So I'm going to tighten this up. And then I'm going to go around it one more time. And I'm going to zero this to that 1 thou that... Okay, so there's 0. Huh, got better. Because there's 2, so it's only 1 thou difference from the other one. Now it's 4 thou, so we're within 3 thousandths. I'm going to call that good enough. Good enough. So now I'm going to go ahead and face that that end off. Move it over here so I can run the controls. Okay, and hopefully I won't run into any to the jaw. That's above. And what I'm going to do is I haven't had the lathe running yet today, and it was cold last night, so I'm going to go ahead and just warm it up a little bit. So I'm going to first go into, I'm going to go about 360. Just go let the oil circulate around a little bit. It was pretty cool last night out here. I turned my thermostat down at night out here, so it gets down to around 45 in the garage. Then in the morning I usually turn it back up around 68. And I just kind of like to get the oil to circulate. I don't know if it's necessary, but I do it. On the first run of the lathe in the mornings. Now we're at 600. I should probably change the oil in it again. I've changed it since I bought it. I put oil in it, ran it through all the gears, half hour here, half hour there, like they suggest, and then I drained it, which was sparkly glitter because all the gears, it took all the sharp edges off the gears, and drained it, put fresh oil in, ran it again. I ran it twice, drained it. There's a few little sparkles, but not much, and then put oil in it, and it's been in there ever since. So I should actually drain it out and do it again now, or just drain it and put some fresh stuff in. Alright, now we're going to kick her up to 14. And we're going to go in here and cut. Go 10. See how much cleans up at 10. I'd say well over half of it. Then I'll go another 10. Still don't know what size I'm going to make the spark plug. I think I'm going to make it with 1/4 inch thread. Either 1/4 or number 10, whichever. Alright, it cleaned up all the way around, but I am going to take, another 10 thousandths, and then I'm going to call it good, because I can't go much more than that. So we're just going to go across the flow. I could whip out another head. That material has gotten room to make another head. I got the program. I'm kind of debating on whether to do that or just make that other one work. You know what the definition of a good machinist is? They never throw away, never make scrap. They always make whatever they make work. One way or another. that's what I was told. I can't remember who told me that. Somebody told me that once. Long ago. They said, a good machinist will always make their part work. Yeah, I try to fit in that category, but sometimes I don't. Well, a lot of times I don't. Especially if it's an NC part, then I just throw it away and do it again. Okay, I can see the holes didn't get drilled quite deep enough. This is probably oversized, that's why, but that's okay. The width of that isn't really critical because the push rod for the rocker arm is about the only, and the spark plug depth, and I can go in and spot drill that if I have to, if I need to have more for the spark plug. Yeah, I sure wish I would have not drilled these at a 1/4 inch, these ports. To me, that's silly to have it that size. Well, I could go and plug them with, like I say, push a chunk of brass into them and then redo that. And I may just do that too. Because if you got a 1/4 inch here and you've got a valve going into these 3/16 holes, why in the world would you need 1/4 inch? 3/16 would be sufficient over here for ports easily. So It's, to me, that's like not planning it out very well. Well, it's not my mistake. I should have seen that right away. I should have noticed that, but I didn't. I just looked at the drawing and said, yeah, that's what it's going to be. And I might have to take and run that drill through. Apparently I didn't go quite as deep on the... I wonder why. Should have all... Start measuring this once. Make sure. 450. Actually... Okay, 444, 444, 445, 445 and a half, 446. It's got, you know, we had that in there. It had some, so I'll run the drill through those, and then I'm going to go ahead and start on valves, and see if I can get some valves made, and then it'll be spring winding time. I'll wind some springs for them. Oh, and keepers. I'll have to make the keepers too, the valve keepers. And I could just drill a hole, put a cotter pin in for the valve keepers. I don't like that. I like the like a cup, and then like a sea washer that goes into that cup, and or even just a E-clip, either is it a C-clip? Or yeah, it's an E-clip. Put an E-clip on there and then it goes into the cup and it can't come off. So I like doing that instead. But I'll probably lap this surface and before I just looking at it. And still, like I say, when I decide what size to make my spark plug, the spark plug that they make in this engine, to me it looks out of place. It looks too big. It should be smaller, a little smaller anyway, especially the bottom end of it. So, because they got a big chunk of brass in there for the... Anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm going to round up material for valves. So I'll be back. But that's pretty much the cylinder head, other than lap. And what I'll do is, when I'm not gonna even put a chamfer on the valve holes. What I do is I take and put some compound on the valves, because the lands don't have to be very wide. So what I do is I put some lapping compound on the valves, put them in there, and just spin them and spin them and spin them. Take a look, and when you get a gray surface or a little flat and a gray surface all the way around the hole, you're there. The valve is seated. I mean, to me, that's the simplest way. Rather than trying to go in there and put a chamfer on that. All my engines, all except the first one, but most. So I've done 1, 2. Well, I done my V8s that way too. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 engines that way, and haven't had a problem with any of them. They all work and they run. So, you know, people are trying to get chamfer concentric to the valve guide hole. Well, if that valve guide hole is even within a couple thou concentric to that hole, and you start lapping it, you'll get it, no problem. So, anyway, quit jabbering.
I'll be back.